Hello everyone. The purpose of this little video is twofold. First, for all our friends to learn how to create a Desmos account if you don't have one, and then to show you how we're going to graph some lines, straight lines, uh, for an upcoming project that is coming your way. So here is the first part. You're going to go to desmos.com. If you do not have an account, if you have an account, please disregard this portion of the video. And after you get to desmos.com, you are going to go to start graphing. And once you do that, this screen will appear. And for the moment, all we want you to do as students is create an account. Yes, and what we want to do is to create an account using Google and use the credentials that you have for DDSB. Okay, so in other words, your student number at student.ddsb.ca, and then you sign in uh, like that. Okay, um, and you have to accept policies and that sort of thing. All right, so that's the first part. So for the moment, I'm going to accept, and then I will eventually see my name here. So now I have created an account, and that account you will use for all Desmos assignments that your teachers may give you. That's the first part. Now, the second part, which is really the fun part, is how are we going to grab some equations of lines, and we're going to show you how to do that. It's pretty friendly, pretty easy. So we're going to begin with an equation y equals 3x plus 1. So all I have to do is put my cursor in this section. This is the graphical area, and this is where I enter equations and nodes. So I'm going to do y equals literally 3x plus 1, just like I described it. And here is the graph for the equation. If you notice, the red matches the red. I can see that the y-intercept is at 1. And with a little observation, I realize that my rise is 3, the run is 1, so the slope of this line is 3. Wonderful. I can change these colors for my line, say to blue. I can change the shape of the line, as it were, the little dots, etc. So I can do that. I can make it visible like it is now. I can hide it just by clicking on it. So here, for example, my equation is still there. It's just hidden. So here's the first part. The second part is this. Uh, for a certain project that will be coming your way, you may want to just show a portion of this line, because this line goes to infinity and beyond, no pun intended. It goes to positive infinity this way, into negative infinity this way. But let's say we just wanted to show a portion. Let's say from this point to maybe this point. So when x is 0 to when x is 1. So to do that, this is what happens. We come here and we're going to use these curly brackets. Please notice the shape. These are not regular brackets. They're not square brackets, but the curly brackets. I think depending on your keyboard, it may be next to the letter P, to the right of the letter P. And then I'm going to tell the graphing calculator that I want my value to be between 0 and 1. So I'm going to put the smallest value first. And then I want to include the 0. So I'm going to use this symbol. This symbol is a smaller or equal to. That means it can include the 0. My variable is x, and I'm going to do it the other way to include the 1. And look what happened. My graph now became this little line, which is exactly what I wanted, from x being 0 to x equals 1, and actually those points are included. We call these to restrict the domain. Don't worry too much about it. You're going to learn about it in later grades, but it's just the elegant way to describe what we just did. Beautiful. So now we're going to do two examples, and then you're going to be on your way. So I'm going to hide this equation for now. And notice how the domain was restricted. And now we're going to enter two new ones. And what we want you to do is, as you watch this video, if you can, follow along on your Desmos screen, so then you see the same results that we have. Okay? So first one is going to be y equal 7/6 of x plus 5/3. So here we go. Y equals. Now, how would I enter a fraction? Well, Desmos is very powerful. I'm just going to enter it like I'm going to show you two ways to enter it. One with a keyboard that I'm using my keyboard now. I use the 7 and the forward slash to signify division, 7/6. Now I have to move. If you notice, the cursor is at the bottom. I need to move the cursor a little bit to the right. So I press one of the arrow keys and see how it's in the middle of the two numbers. That's my x, 7/6 of x plus 5/3. The other method, you may find it easier. I use this keyboard that is here available to me. Yeah, I can hide it or I can bring it out. And I'm going to then enter, I'm going to use this here, 5. And a fraction means, in a way, it's a quotient, it's a division, 5 divided by 3. And look how nice Desmos writes it. Now, to come out of this section or this format, I need to go here. So now I'm not in the denominator anymore. And now for this one, I want to see my line only for values between -7 and -4. So somewhere in negative spaces, okay? So let's do that using what we just learned. We can actually do all these maneuvers here on our keyboard, and I can do it here. See, you see my curly brackets. I can go back to the numbers, and I'm going to tell Desmos that I want the values to go from -7, and I have my x here, and to -4. And there it is. There's just my little line. Let's imagine that I want to make this line purple because it suits my project better. And there it is. Very easy way to enter and restrict the domain for this line. One more. Here it is. Y equals 3/4 of x minus 1/2. And then these will going to go from -6 to -2. So here we go. And you can please follow along. You can do it on this keyboard. You could on the other keyboard. Since I have these open, I'm going to use this one. Y equals 3/4. And then I'm going to move here so my cursor goes back to the right place of x minus 1/2. And there is my line in green to differentiate it from my original. Now I just wanted to show between -6 and +2. So I'm going to come out of that section and I'm going to use the brackets that are here under ABC. You see the curly bracket here, and I'm going to tell Desmos between -6. Go back to my numbers. This time I'm going to do something a bit different. I'm going to tell Desmos not to include the 6. So I'm just going to make it what we call strictly smaller than 6. Yes, so these will be as close to 6 as we want without touching it. Between -6 and +2. So I'm going to do here the same symbol. Notice that these symbols are a bit different than the ones above. Here, the -7 and the -4 are included. Here, the -6 and the 2 will not be included. We will get as close as we want without touching. So here's our nice line. And just for fun, let's make these a little dotty or an interrupted line. And here are our two lines. Very good. Now, these are the examples that you most likely will use. There's one more that might be a bit different. What if I want to draw a vertical line? What if I want to draw a horizontal line? Well, the horizontal line will leave for you to figure out, but the vertical line would be something a bit different, because in a vertical line, all the x values are the same. So let's say I wanted to do a vertical line here at 2 that goes up and down perpendicular to the x-axis. That means any point on that line, the x value would be 2. So why don't I do that? So I'm going to go x equals 2. Oh my goodness, look at that. So now I have my line here that goes vertical. And what this time I will do is try to change the values, let's say to go from -4 to +4. But this time, the values that I'm changing are not the x, but the y. Let's see if we can do it in Desmos. So I'm going to go here, and I'm going to tell Desmos that please just go between -4. Now, my y value, not my x value, and +4. Look at that. And I have my line, my vertical line that is restricted in this form. Well, I hope you enjoyed the little video, and I'm so looking forward to seeing some of these projects that your teachers will share with me. Have fun.